How's it going, everyone? And today we're gonna continue working on our Rock-Ola 480. Last episode, we got the keypad working and got the profit setter all figured out and got it working. If you haven't seen that video, go back one and watch it, and you'll see what we had to do to the profit setter and the keypad. Now we got everything working as far as the mechanism, the keypad, and all that, but we have one channel dead. If you're looking at the machine, I guess we'll call it the left side. The left side is not working, which the red is the right and white is the left on our amp out. And our signal in is our pickup. So what we're gonna do is we need to take the amp out and see what we can figure out, because see, I checked for signal. We have a signal coming out of the red line, which is our right, but there was no signal. Even with the record player, with the turntable mechanism working and it playing a record, that should at least kick the amp on, and we should have some sort of signal coming out of the white. I mean, there was absolutely nothing, dead stone. But the red, we had our signal, which was playing our right side. What we're going to do is we're going to take the amp out and check that white side and follow it back and see if we can figure out what's going on. Do a little troubleshooting on our amp. If everything looks good in there, then we're probably going to have to take a look at our pickup line. Ooh, pickup line. Boy, honey, you're cute. And I don't have good pickup lines, because I don't have to worry about it anymore. We'll follow down our pickup line and check down inside here where it comes up to our tone arm and see if we can figure something out in there. But first I want to check this amp out, because like I said, we have no signal whatsoever on our white wire, which is our left side of our speakers. So let's get this amp out of here and see what we can find out about it. Okay folks, I got the amplifier out and opened it back up. And you know, this is pretty self-explanatory. We have our left channel and our right channel. You can just slide the top up out of the slot so you can open it up a little bit further and lay it flat. You can see here's our white wire coming in. Goes down to our distribution. No. Our power's coming in through here too. We gain everything from there, and then from here it goes over to our channels. Checked all the fuses again, those are all good. I don't foresee anything really going on that panel. And here all we have to do is you loosen up those two screws and you can slide this up out of the way. Yes, phone. And this is the one that we need to work on. So we'll take off our two push-on terminals. I'm sorry if I don't have all the right terminology for everything. Now we'll lay this down a little bit more. Yep. Knocked off my blowgun, or my heat gun. And then you just have these clips, and you can pull that whole panel up out of there. Now what I found, I tested these two. These are the power transistors. Oh, let me get it up here. These are the two power transistors, here and here. And both of them are not testing out. I tested them and compared them to the ones on the right channel, and these ones, I have a couple dead legs on these. Let me get you set up and I'll show you how I tested them. Okay, I took them both out, marked them. This is our left and this is our right. They're both the same boards, but I wanted to show you. You know, these are both driver boards. They're exact same boards. And these are the two that are suspect of being bad. They're bad. And what we'll do is you take your multimeter and set it on Diode Check. This is our left and our right. And what we're going to do is you use your center pin, and then either your black or your red on your center pin is going to be your that determines whether it's a PNP or an NPN. And don't ask me which one is which. And you can see we have a 0.63, which that leg is good, but this side you can see is dead. Now if we come over here to the same transistor on the right side and put our red probe, and we get a 1.97, which is awful high, and a 0.63. Now if you switch them around and put your black on your center, you shouldn't have anything. Now this leg here that's testing high, we could be testing something else also on the circuit board. So we know that this is dead. It jumps, but that's about it. Okay, now this one should be the opposite. We put our black probe on the center, 1.91 and 0.63. And we'll come over here and we'll do the same thing. 1.9 and 0.63. So I'm thinking that we have one bad one right here, but I'm going to change them both. They cross over to our to a tip 41C and a tip 42C. That's why I said this one's suspect. It jumps, but that's about it. And we could have something else, but what I'll do is I'll pull that green one, and then we'll test it out of the circuit and see what we get. If it's good, then we need to start looking elsewhere at something else. Okay, got it removed, and I'll show you what's going on. Put our red probe on the center. We have 0.62 on our left leg and nothing on our right leg. Now those should both be about the same. Should be close. Should be under like 0.7. Is usually pretty close. I've had some where I've changed them. See, there's your left leg and right leg, nothing. I've changed them out where they were 0.69, 0.68, just because I felt that they were getting weak, so I changed them. So now we'll get out a new one, and in fact what I'm going to do is I'll pull the other green one. We'll keep those together. That's our left side. I'm going to pull the other green one on the right channel and see what we come up with on that one out of the circuit, because they're very simple to pull. Okay, and there's our the green one out of our right channel. And now let's see what we get on this one out of the circuit. Let's see, left leg 0.61, right leg nothing. And we should have a reading on both legs. Nothing. Nothing. Ground. See, our center leg is our ground. Our heat sink. Come on, get on there. So I'm going to replace them both just because. And then on our right one, it should be the black. Should go in the center. .63. Okay, let me find one of these and we'll test it out of the circuit before we put it in and see what it looks like. Okay, evidently I'm not testing these power transistors the right way, and I'll be the first to tell you. As you can see, the old one is 0.63 and nothing. The new one 0.58 and nothing. But if you move your red lead over to the right hand side, you will get 0.59 and nothing. And on here, 0.64 and nothing. If we switch these around, the new one, nothing, nothing. The old one, nothing, nothing. So you must have to, on these ones, let's see, red, yeah, there, and there. Okay, so your outside one on this one is your control. So evidently that one is good. And let's test, that's the 42C. We'll set him off to the side. Now let's, okay, put our red in the center. We have, come on, get over there. Nothing. Or no reading, I should say. Keeping our red. Okay. So now we'll go with our black in the center. We have 0.63. Keeping our black in the center. The other leg is nothing. So this should be the same. Should be the red in the center, right? No, black in the center. Black in the center, 0.63. Black in the center, 0.63. And nothing. Okay. So then we have to go with Black on the outside and 0.63. Black on the outside, 0.63. So now let's test the left one. Remember what it said? Remember what I said? Black on the outside, if I can get under there, and the other outside, 0.64. And black in the center, 0.63. Okay, so all those are good. Hope you understood that. Those are all good. We don't have to, our power transistors are good on both of these boards. Once we took them out and could test them out of the board, we found that they were okay. I'm just kind of wondering about the staining that's on here. If we don't have a little mouse urine, some vermin urine on them. So I'll get those soldered back in, and we need to look somewhere else for our problem. Okay, now we have our two big transistors, or whatever you want to call them. Here are 2N3055C. And these are only two-legged, they're plug-in. And they just screw down in. Now there's two posts, two tabs, or two terminals. Excuse me. Hey. Sometime I'll explain to you why I have a hard time talking. Okay, they just plug in. There's a terminal here and here. Hopefully you can see me. And now we'll test those with our diode tester. And see, we have 0.154. And let me get on it right. Here we go. 0.152. This is our right side. This is the known good side. So we'll test these two and see what we get. And we come up with, and down on there, 0.151. And the other one, 0.147. So now we know that those are good, and we've gotten that far where everything looks pretty good, and what I can test I have tested. Now I'll pull this board up out of here just to look on the back side of it and make sure there's nothing that has been burnt or whatever on the back side of our, this is the power for everything. Okay, I just want to show you what I found. I've kind of traced everything back all through here, and everything looks good. I mean, this is the end. You know, I know we should have started from the beginning, but, you know, yeah, that's the brakes. Now, on our volume control, when I took this apart, or took it out, you can see that this volume control is all squirrely in here. And I'm wondering if it, you know, wasn't making contact because it was off center or something. Somebody has taken the volume control knob off of it and then has glued it back on. And when they pulled the knob off of it, you can see the big gap that's left in the control. I don't know if this would have anything to do with it or not, but I am going to get this put all back together and see if I can't get it centered, and the sleeve, see, the sleeve should be permanent in this little plate here. See if I can't get it fixed so it's in there permanent again, and I won't put the knob on it, and we'll see if we can't get this amp to work on both channels, because like I said, everything else looks good. I've checked a lot of stuff and haven't come across anything else. Was kind of my last thing to check here, was the volume control, but I don't know, maybe I should have checked it first. So let me see if I can't get this fixed up the way it should. Okay, as you can see, I took the little plate off, and what I did was I reinserted this whatever you want to call it, bushing and thread part that actually holds the switch in place, and pushed it up through and peened it down a little bit and straightened the plate back out, and now we can put it back on. And to take these off, they're not bad to take off. There's 4 little tabs here, 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 and here that actually hold this whole switch together. And the trick is getting it pushed back down where it belongs and folding those little tabs over without ruining the switch and your fingers. Okay, you get the idea what you have to do. I'm gonna use a little different pair of pliers here. See if I can get all the way on top. And make sure I don't get a wire in there. That's better. Now hopefully that was our problem. Okay, I'm going to get this all put back together, and then we can stick it in the jukebox and give it a try. I mean, haven't done a whole lot to this except tested out a few things and found that. So let's see what we can come up with. See if that takes care of our problem. I got the amp, I put the amp back in and tried it, and we only have music out of one side. We only have a signal on this side. Okay, now I have the luxury of having the exact same amp here in our 477. So I took that amp out, put it in, same thing, signal only on one side. So that kind of eliminates. I didn't put that amp over here yet. That may come. So now what I'm thinking is we have a problem with our signal wire coming off of our cartridge, our stylus cartridge. Ooh, stylus. So next thing to do is I gotta check that wire all the way down to where it hooks up behind the tone arm, and the wires going up to the cartridge. And the easiest way for me to do that is to pull the mechanism back out of here and get it set up on the bench and take a look at it. And that way we can get right at everything, and if we have a problem we can fix it right there. So the fun part begins again. I'm going to take the mech out of here and we're going to take a look and see what we can find. And you know, like I said, I have the luxury of having another jukebox sitting here with the same amp and everything in it. So most people don't, that are trying to fix up a jukebox for themselves. So let's so we're gonna say that I didn't check this. I didn't put another amp in here. So you can kind of just figure that, okay, now everything looks good inside the amp. Now we need to check our wires here. This is going to be for you know, people that don't have the luxury of having a spare jukebox sitting around to test everything on. So let's pull this mech up out of here and see what we can find. If I can find something that may help somebody in the long run. Okay, I think I found the problem. I don't know if you can see it very well, but if you look at those wires right there, the black and this black one right here, I don't know if it's touching everything. I'm gonna have to take that cartridge off and take a peek. Okay, I kind of cut this video off right there at the end there when I was showing you the cartridge, the wires on the cartridge. The two wires that look like they were touching, they're supposed to be touching, those are two grounds. They're just a loop wire that loops around, yes, that loops around and grounds both left and right channel on the stereo. On the jukebox. So I cut it off there. Why I ended up needing a new cartridge is when I went to pull those push-on terminals off the back of that cartridge, the whole bottom side of that cartridge where they plugs in, all the pins pulled right out of the cartridge. I mean, it was so brittle. And some of the little plastic came out of it, you know, but I didn't think I broke anything inside the cartridge. I put some Gorilla Glue on the back of it. I knew I was going to need a new cartridge anyway, but I wanted to just do some more work on it. So I Gorilla Glued everything, the guts back down, plugged it up, and it didn't work. It didn't work nothing. I lost everything. So I knew for sure, you know, that I couldn't go any further on it than that. Had to wait for the cartridge before I could even do any more troubleshooting on it. So we got the cartridge in, and I put the cartridge in. It'll be in the next video as to what's going on. But I kind of left a blank spot after looking at those wires on the back of that cartridge, so I figured I better do an ending here and not just leave you hanging, oh, these wires are bad, and that's it, you know, and an outro. So I figured I better tell you what the hell was going on, so you're not lost and wondering, well, gee, was it? What is it? But we'll get the new cartridge in, we'll put it in and see if that fixes our problems and go from there. If it does, great. If it doesn't, more troubleshooting. So until next time, see ya.